Hi guys, I'd like to make a video because I can't stress enough about electrical safety around the home. Um, First of all is cords across the room, power cords, any type of cord. Doesn't matter if it's electric or not, if it's a hose or I don't know what. Just anything across the floor like this, a trip hazard, especially if it's plugged in. This is just a demonstration, so it's not plugged in. This is a charger of a computer. It's across the floor. Um, it's easy, especially if it's plugged in on both sides, I can trip over it. Second of all, old power cords or just power cords. It doesn't matter if they're old or new. This power cord looks pretty much fine, except the other end. I ran into a bit of trouble here, as I noticed. This one is it's been wired in a sort of way that the coloured insulation has come through, and not only come through, it's been that way. And I'm going to replace this soon enough, but if you see anything like this, it's just pure common sense for some people to replace it or just throw it away or get someone to fix it. But yeah, these are very dangerous. These can wear very quickly. I've done it quite a few times. Like with these, I just did it today. I was wiring up this light. The wires were exposed like these, and I noticed I was gonna fix it, of course, but I noticed that the earthing insulation was starting to deteriorate away when it was rubbing the metal. And this could be rubbing on anything. Someone could put a chair on this. This could break. This could get squashed. This could overheat. This can just be a fire hazard right here. If this gets exposed and someone stands on it, like a lot of people do, they just stand on it, they can get a nasty shock or even kill themselves. And it's not really the best to leave them like this. And if the earth deteriorates away and people don't notice, and if the connection breaks, if a fault happens, all your earth's gone. So you're going to get either killed or have a nasty shock. Same as the neutral. It can break away if you touch both ends of it. So just if this end, if you touch it, you won't get a shock. But if you touch the other end, you'll complete the circuit, then you'll get the shock. I just can't stress enough how dangerous these things are. Trip hazards. Of course, this is the demonstration, so even if it's unplugged, I can easily just get my foot caught in there and trip. Other power cords, I'm just have to let you guys know, this is a demonstration. Nothing is live here. This extension cord, I have to have it plugged in, but it's not switched on. As you can see, look, runs over here by the door. As you go in, trip hazard. Now, of course, knowing me, I'd fix it, and I would, but I have to have it plugged in to make it look like that. But now what I'm going to do, just to show you guys, I'm not going to leave it, is going to unplug the thing. Unplugged. And I'm going to put it safely away. Of course, I have to have it plugged in on the other end as well. And this also leads us to cords and water. You can't see this, but this has been exposed in water. You can see it's dripping. Sorry, there's not enough light in here, but this cord has been soaking in this water. And I'll take it out for you guys. Cords and water. Doesn't matter if they're live or off, they can still kill you. This is very wet. As you can see on the table, it's made watermarks everywhere. This is a demonstration. This is just some old piece of wire. I have cut both ends off. But if this become live, and someone touches it, I'm going to get a nasty shock. And also, even if it's not live, if it's just sitting in the water and someone plugs it in, it's got to be a nasty shock. And usually people don't earth sinks, metal sinks. It's not really a common thing to do, but this is wet. This is just some old scrap wire. I had to use this for demonstration purposes only. This is not going to be used in any other appliance because it has become wet, and usually the water would have gone inside the cord. As you can see, the two colors, blue and brown, the insulation is a little bit of a gap, and if the cord deteriorates from the inside, then the water is going to become charged, and the water will stay in there because it's not going to really it's going to take a long time to evaporate away because there's not going to be much heat or light going in here. But wet cords, don't use them if they're wet. Get them fixed. Just let them dry for, it doesn't matter how long you let them dry, you got to make sure they're dry before you use them again. If it's like an extension cord, yeah, you just leave that for a week to dry out, maybe take the plug apart if you're experienced. But, this is the big one, if it's the extension cord that you can't pull apart, like this one you can, but if you can't, like this one here, just get it replaced. You just don't want to do it. You can easily you'll get more of a shock with water on it. Another thing I have to stress about is doubling up. I can do this because it's not much of a load, and I know what type of wire this is. I know I'm experienced, so it is okay just to do that. And this is not on all the time, 24/7. It's only on maybe about a minute a month or something. Like, I don't really go up here. This is inside a roof. Doubling up. Doubling up extension cords, doubling up multi-boxes is an extreme fire hazard. Doesn't matter if they got those silly doohickeys that cut off the power if it gets too hot or whatever circuit breakers they have on them. Circuit breakers, some don't trip when it gets hot. They only trip in a short circuit purposes. Most circuit breakers trip when there's too much current flowing. So a 10 amp circuit breaker, maybe 15 amps, it will trip. But if it's getting hot, the circuit breaker will just keep on feeding the power through like nothing's happening. Don't double up multi-boxes. That's a stupid idea. And especially if you have high loads. Like I work sometimes in garages, and I use high quality and multi-boxes that I've checked, I've pulled apart, and I know what they are, like how much current they can hold. And I make sure they have a circuit breaker equipped to them. And yeah, it's about it. Just don't double up multi-boxes. Well, just don't. Anyway, in the garage that I work in, I never double up a multi-box. I only have usually one multi-box in there, and that was for a power strip for low load appliances. Doesn't matter how good it is, I only use it for really low load appliances, and maybe the small battery charger sometimes. That's about it. But I don't use multi-boxes for plugging in toasters. That's a big no-no. I'm sick and tired of hearing about accidents and shorting out purposes. I've heard this person plugging in a toaster and a jug into the same multi-box. Well, you know what happened? It blew up. It almost caught on fire. It shorted out the multi-box and it blew the main fuse of the house. I don't know how it worked, but they had no power for days because they had to fix it. It was one of those internally built into the house fuses. I don't really have a picture of one, but just think of the wall. There's a plate, and there's a big fuse inside it, and you can't access it via a Phillips screwdriver. It has to have the special silly tool to access it over purposes that people with no experience may maintain it and then get themselves killed. But yes. Also, on the other hand, noises, sound, smell, vision, sound, and smell are the key things for noticing an electric fire or just noticing something's wrong. This light here, perfectly fine. Can't hear anything, can't smell anything, can't see anything. But electricity is a silent and deadly killer. Yeah, so there's nothing really wrong with this light. I've also pulled it apart and checked it inside. It is fine. And don't overload light sockets like these. This socket is rated for 100 watts. This bulb, I know, is 75. Incandescent, by the way. Usually just choose CFLs or LEDs. This is an old house. But yeah, and also vision. Fuse boxes. Give you a demonstration here. Oh, not really a demonstration, but an open fuse box, don't touch. Just don't. Don't even try it. Even if you're experienced, don't unless it needs maintenance. Which usually doesn't, but it should be closed. If you can hear an arcing, so just say that light fitting up there, I can hear arcing. I would, as soon as I hear it, I'd turn it off, I'd inspect it. It may be a loose connection, I'd fix it. And if I turn it back on and I hear the same arcing, I'll turn it off and I would also call an electrician, or I would see if I could diagnose it myself again if I haven't done it already. If it's smoking, just say this stuff here, heaters most likely. If you, especially if you see smoking, turn it off straight away. Bring it out to a non-combustible place like a concrete floor. This floor easily would ignite. But and also if you can smell anything, usually if a heater's been sitting for a very long time, dust could accumulate in it. And it would start to smell, but it usually goes away. But always, if you see the smell, just look inside if there's nothing burning. But if it's really strong, turn it off and see if blow it out with an air compressor or just air it out. That's all my advice I can give you. But yeah, vision, sound, and smell are your key things to noticing house fires and also equipment. I like lighting circuits and that stuff. I don't want that damaged because that's good. It's good quality work. So I'd turn it off straight away and I'd fix it. But yeah, it's about it, you guys. Nothing too much. Oh, one more thing about these transformers here. If they are getting really hot, like hot that you can't touch them, or yeah, just really hot, don't use them. If they're just warm, that's alright. But as long as you can't smell anything coming from them, or you can't really hear anything coming from them, like any high buzzing sound, it's alright. But this doesn't have a buzzing sound, but I know it's just the circuitry of it that makes the sound. So nothing too wrong with that. But yeah, and also damaged cords as well on those. Just don't use them, even if they're transformers. They go down to 9 volts. I have done a demonstration before in a video. The video is called "Shorting Out a 13.5 volt transformer." Pretty sure it's that one. And you'll see the demonstration. I had shorted the 2 leads out. The transformer started smoking. If I'd left it like that, it would have most likely caught on fire. If you see damaged leads, don't use it. Get it repaired or buy another one. It saves you a whole lot of money than a house burnt down or equipment damaged or anything. Appliances, furniture. Just instead of buying another $5 transformer, how much they ever cost, instead of having to pay $100,000 or even more for a house or furniture or appliances. But yeah, that's about it, you guys. Until next time, thank you for watching. Stay safe out there.